Hello and welcome to my 100% Real with Ruby podcast. You are about to tune in to an episode I did on the Greg Fearon podcast. So this covers everything and you won't actually want to miss a beat of this one. We dove into so many areas, and if there's anything else that you would like me to touch on in a following episode, just reach out, let me know. Share this podcast with the world, with whoever. Leave a review if you can, and let's start getting this podcast out there. Thank you.
Over that time that you would have been following me, you would have seen all different phases of Ruby. So I actually started out on the opposite end of the spectrum, weighing in at like 37 kilos. And then I got into the gym after overcoming the fear of being judged for being someone that didn't need to lose weight in the gym. Mm-hmm. And after a while, I somehow got into bodybuilding, and I ended up on the stage probably about 8 times within 2.5 years. Yeah. And I would say that my biggest takeaway from all of that is I should have actually given myself more time before I actually got into it. But at the same time, I'm so grateful that I just thrust myself into it, because I learned so much in order to actually coach my clients through not only the physical aspect of all phases of nutrition and training, but also the psychological part of it. And it was that got me into studying it all. And then I went on and did a few nutritional certifications. I did my sports nutrition. I got myself a graduate diploma, and I invested pretty much half of my income into just learning more and more for a few years. And all of that, I will have to say, pales in comparison to actually experiencing the mental side of it all, because out in like social media, in the other in the coaching world itself, there is so much focus on the physical without actually realizing that the psychological is the biggest component of it all. But beyond that, the physiological, the health component, because you can't just diet someone without taking into account their thyroid, their hormones in general, metabolic adaptation, their stress. And when people have like gut issues, people are fast to shove supplements onto them when you don't actually say, okay, so how's your sleep? How's your stress? Because stress is the biggest culprit for gut issues. And at the moment, I'm sorting out one of my guys' like gut issues, and it all, like, people think that in order to fix the gut, you need to eliminate all these foods and keep them out for life. But no, a FODMAP diet is meant to be a temporary thing. So like the Western world wants to slap a Band-Aid instead of actually going to the root cause. So his would have been training too hard. He had a lot of stresses going on in his life. And then I have another lady who has all these gut issues as well, but she's too stubborn to want to change them at the same time. And that just reiterates how big of a factor stress is in her issues, because she's too stubborn to change anything, complains about a lot of things. And it's like, once you start to tune into your body and realize, okay, maybe I need to actually put my stress management first, then I can actually start to address all these other things. And it's not just, okay, put the mind first and the body will follow. It's put the mind first and then look into the health component and stop focusing on the body. That will come with it. Like, you get into it, okay, you want to lose weight, you want to look better. But once you stop focusing on the body altogether and focus on health with the mind combined, not one or the other, but combined, then you are actually going to get the results that you want. But I guess if you had to pick the most important one out of all that, it is the mind. It's like, you can argue, is it chicken and the egg? Is it you have to look after the health first, so then your mind can be in a better place to then look after the rest? Or is it you need the mind in the best place so then you can look after your health? Yeah. Because that's how much the brain and the gut are so connected. But once you just take that first step, once you will yourself to take that first step, however small it is, so much can change, because your food dictates your mood. And once you feel like the mental aspect of having control over your life, it gives you so much more power, and you actually feel empowered to take control of the rest of your life. And then after I finished that bodybuilding phase, I went into powerlifting, and I had to make a weight class. The reason I touched on all that health stuff before is, so I had to be lean and shredded for bodybuilding. And straight after that, I went into powerlifting with a weight class. So I was constantly chasing a smaller body. I was constantly chasing the number on the scale. And on that note, when I was dieting down for both comp on the stage and on the platform, you get so used to seeing the number on the scale go down that as soon as it's time to stop focusing on that, you lose your mind. And something that I'm starting to realize, especially now, because after my powerlifting phase, I now went into a half marathon phase. So I ran a half marathon, and I had to lose body weight to be more mechanically efficient there. But that wasn't my focus until the very end. I had about 3 years of 2 years in between, 2019, thanks COVID, 2020, and then the start of 2021 to actually build my food up, to actually focus on progress. So I had that time to actually build my metabolism. And instead of dieting at friggin', 1,000 calories, because I am a small human, I'm only 5'3" and 56 kilos. But at that, I was at 1,000 calories and 1,300, 1,500. And then when I was dieting for powerlifting, I was around 1,516. But now I was dieting at 2,200. Wow. Yes, I had that extra endurance, and I was running 3 days a week, and I was training in the gym 3 days a week. But it's the fact that I actually stopped focusing on weight loss, and I didn't care about that. And I really didn't even try. I was just like, I don't care about losing weight for the freaking run. I just don't care about that. I'm happy in my body. I'm happy with how far I've come. I've never, that was never me before. I was always so obsessed with just chasing something, but now I'm fulfilled. But here's the caveat. I was happy at 57 kilos on the way down for my half marathon.
Yeah.
And then the lightest I got was 55.3. But then as soon as the half marathon passed and I'm starting to feed myself up, loving food more, still could do with a lot more, even though I'm at 2,600. But the thing is, as soon as I broke past or even just hit 56 versus being under 56, the mental spasms can start, because you'll be happy on the way down, but it's like a mind fuck for females on the way up, even though they realize you are heavy, 2 kilos heavy, 2 kilos heavier than you are now. So I guess my biggest thing out of all of what I just said is my purpose in everything that I do is to take the focus off so much mental masturbation that makes women freaking go absurd, their calories, being so stressed out over letting something go to enjoy something with the family. But that's because they're so fixated on, I need to lose this amount of weight. Yeah, okay, so if you do end up subbing something for that family meal and enjoying yourself, as long as you don't do it every bloody week, every second week, the fact is you enjoyed it. You acknowledge the fact that you had a massive meal. And okay, it's going to delay your progress to that finish line. But the thing is, there is no finish line. Who are you racing against? Who are you comparing against? So I guess taking the focus of all the mental masturbation of, even in the gym, I didn't hit my numbers this week. Okay, well, going back to that whole biofeedback, did you sleep well? Are you stressed? What else is going on? Because if you let a subpar gym session impact the rest of your day, how the hell is what you're doing improving your life? It's taking over your life. So it's putting the life back into health and fitness and making it what it's truly about, and not just about chasing numbers and figures. Because all of that will come once you actually start to prioritize doing all of this for you, because you want to be the best you, not because you're being some crazy person over chasing numbers, because that will drive you more insane and make you not want to stick to something because you're that impatient.
Oh, There's so much gold in that whole bit. There's so many questions now. So I just want to take you back to your bodybuilding days. Just talk me through, because there's a lot of ladies who will listen to this podcast who are like, I really want to get lean. I really want to lose the belly and get some abs. But how much work did it take to get that lean?
A lot, and it took over my life. Like, it literally becomes your every thought. And my biggest advice to people who are looking to lose belly fat, are looking to look freaking badass naked or in a bikini, why not go for a photo shoot? Like, is your health, is your life, is your family, are your social connections really worth going through all of that just to get on stage looking like an Oompa Loompa? By that I mean you're wearing a tan, wearing an Oompa, like looking like an Oompa Loompa in high heels just to show it off for 2 minutes of fame. Maybe you'll get some photos out of it, but you're going to lose your life in the process. And something I forgot to mention in all of that is, so after my bodybuilding shows, I ended up with the worst relationship with food. I gained, after having disordered eating, getting into the gym and all that stuff, chasing my fitness goals actually improved my relationship with food. It improved everything. It didn't make it worse. A lot of people say that tracking macros, getting into this stuff can worsen eating disorders, but it made mine better because I wasn't focusing on becoming smaller. I was focusing on becoming fitter, building muscle. So it really helped me. It was after about 3 comps, going through the cycles over and over again, that I actually started to get really disordered eating habits once again, because I just wanted to get that leaner on stage. I was always, in my opinion, I always looked too fat for stage pretty much. I still had to get leaner. And that's the mindset you have when you're literally just getting judged on your appearance, nothing else. But when it's a photo shoot, it's completely different. It's something that's sustainable. You're not getting dick, skin, lean. But it took me ages to heal that relationship with my food. And then going into powerlifting, my hormones were fucked after bodybuilding, that I hated. Like, I literally hated my body for about a year of powerlifting, because I had that fat gut, and it was a stress gut because my hormones were all over the place, because I was severely dieting. And what did I want to do to try and lose that? Oh, I just need to cut my calories more. Oh, I just need to train harder. What did that do? Overtraining, under-eating, under-fueling my performance, deadlifting literally 5 days of the week. My mentality was fully there for lifting, so I could perform on little calories. I could deadlift 4 days a week easily, and I could squat the other 3. Like, I had that mentality, but it wasn't doing anything for my health. And that's something that I learned from. And that's what I keep trying to preach to people. And it's so hard when you're so emotionally invested in just wanting to lose that weight, in just wanting to get that extra kilo on the squat or extra 5 kilos on the squat, because you're so tunnel visioned with emotion. And that's the thing with emotion. When emotion is strong, there's no logic, there's no rationality. Like, you could feel, I'm really good friends with this girl who talks to me about the thought process. And she would step on the scale, literally knowing that she looks better, see it go up, and she mentally talks herself through it. But she tells me the thing, I'm like, I'm so pissed off with the scale, it's going up, but I'm looking leaner. And then a little bit later, she's like, you know what I'm doing now? Going into the mirror, checking myself out, saying, I actually look really good, I feel really good. And then stepping on the scale to then track my data. And I actually got one of my girls, I have the video in my phone. She sent me a video of her throwing the scale out, because that is my motto. I don't want people to step on the scale until they actually tune into their body first. They've been with me for a year or so to actually develop that relationship with themselves, with training that is outside the number on the scale, because it still fucks with your head regardless of whether or not you want to admit it. Because I know it doesn't fuck with my head, but at the same time it still does, but it doesn't at the same time. And that's the stage that you should be at, like, where it fucks with your head, but it doesn't impact you. And I don't even know if that makes sense, but it does make sense when you're actually in the moment, because it's fucking with your head, but at the same time, it's not. And it allows you to move on with life, because it's just another number in the book. And back to what I was saying about where I was with my body when I started powerlifting, that whole overtraining, all of that stuff took me ages to work through because I didn't change it because I still had comps. And that's what I was aiming for. And it wasn't until the start of 2018. Yeah, the start of 2018, around May, to me, that's the start. But around May that I boosted my carbs. Yes, my carbs. The things that everybody is scared of. I boosted my carbs from 160 grams to 250, except I was meant to boost them up to 300. But I boosted them up to 250 because I was a stubborn brat and I was scared that would make me fat. And I was complaining this whole time. About a week later, I took my photos and all of a sudden, I don't have a bloated gut anymore. More carbs, no bloated gut. Well, yeah, because, yeah, I know, right? Because carbs spark insulin. Insulin is the opposing factor to cortisol. So my body was actually able to reduce its stress response, plus fuel my training, fuel my actual other stresses in my day. And then I trusted myself more. But I had to take the leap, scared as hell that I was going to get fat, and actually follow it. And then I trusted myself. I didn't trust myself to start with, but I still did it. And sometimes that's the thing. People are too scared to make the move because, yeah, I can still say sometimes I'm scared of increasing my food because of that. But it's different because now I know how much control I have over everything I do, whereas back then I didn't. I didn't, because I had such a distorted control over my food. I was nibbling what my biggest goal that whole time was I just pray one day I can be the person who eats 4 meals, 5 meals max in a day and doesn't nibble in between, that doesn't go for seconds, that doesn't go for thirds, that doesn't have to split up the meals. Like the closest I got was creating 6 meals, going in, oh no, I'm scared I'll get hungry later, having half the meal, and then freaking 1 hour later, 30 minutes later, going back and finishing the other one and being like, when's the next one? And then splitting each meal in half. Like that was a relationship I had with food. But now what actually helped me, this might be able to help your listeners as well, as what helped me get through all of that, is you need to actually be okay with setting structure. Some people are scared of being so disciplined and controlled and having structure because people shun it. People shun tracking macros. People shun meal plans. People shun all this stuff. And it's like, no, it actually is the best thing. And okay, someone says maybe you can eat the donut, but what if telling someone to eat that donut is the worst thing you can do because they're not there yet? And I freaking hate people putting intuitive eating onto others. It's all this stuff. I hate it because it's like, you can't just put out, like, try to preach where you are at right now and what is right for you right now without realizing that people are starting at places where they're not yet ready to do that. They don't know the nutritional value of food. There's freaking raw cheesecakes that people think are great for fat loss that are actually double the calories of a normal bloody thing out of a packet. Like, I set structure. I said, these are the times I'm eating. My buffer time is 30 minutes in between. I went from 6 meals to 7 meals, back to 6 meals. Now I'm eating 5 meals. And as I wanted, 3 of my meals are the biggest. One of them semi-big and one of them small. Eventually, they're all going to be, well, 4 of them are going to be big. The other one's the pre-training meal. But it took me 2017 after my last show, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 5 years. And people want to do this in 2 weeks, in 10 days.
Do you know what? And that's the biggest thing. And I was saying to someone yesterday about this whole thing where ladies have been 10, 20 years living a certain way, being a certain size, being a certain weight, but then they want to fix it in 2 weeks.
And not only that, but what is it that they're focusing on when they do that? Because you can't change the body without changing the mindset behind it. And they're still identifying as that person as much as they wish they don't. They're trying to say, I want to do this, I want to do that. Why don't you be that person now? Because then you can actually achieve. But they may do it the right way. but then they get impatient and then give up.
Yeah, love it. So one thing right at the beginning of your journey, which is really important for me, I think, was you were in a place where you were really, really small. You were tiny, and you had to get in the gym, and people were saying to you, well, you don't need to train because you're already skinny. Talk to me about that, because that's important. I think a lot of ladies hear that and don't go to the gym or don't work out because their friends say, oh, you're too skinny, you're good anyway, you don't need to exercise.
I think, see, I didn't actually get told that. That was my belief. But
Right.
What you're saying is actually something I do see a lot. And it's like, as soon as someone puts out the direction that they want to go, as in they want to improve their health, others around them start to judge, like, why are you eating that way? Why don't you have some of this? And then they start to guilt you into unhealthiness. And it's freaking stupid. But at the same time, they're coming from a place of insecurity. Like, if people want to judge you, it says more about them than you. And everybody is in it for themselves. They go to the gym for themselves. People who have the height to judge other people are very judgmental of themselves. I can tell you that. And if not, then they're just a prude bitch who probably comes from the upper class that you shouldn't even give two shits about. Like, I know some people that are so up themselves that they're never going to get any results because they're too busy judging everyone else. They're not focusing on themselves. Like, you do you focus on your journey. You run your own race. The second that you try to bring someone else into your race, you're not going to be enjoying it anymore because you're going to be too busy competing. And when all you want to do is win, I heard this on a podcast the other day and I loved it. It's like, if all you focus on is winning, you're going to cut yourself short. You're going to be disappointed and you're going to sabotage. Just focus on not losing. That's the biggest thing. Focus on not losing. Because when you can't raise that ceiling anymore, raise the floor. Make yourself one step less shit.
Love it. Love it. So you're quite petite. And for the petite ladies out there, because this is a big one, where you've got ladies who are like 5'1", trying to lose body fat, they're going to have to take some lower calories, right? And that's tough.
Just like I said before, you have people saying, you can't freaking track macros, you shouldn't have a strict schedule, you shouldn't diet on bloody 1,200 calories. But guess what? Sometimes you just have to diet on 1,200 calories. Sometimes you'll have to diet on 1,000 calories. If you don't like it, tough. Get moving more. Get exercising more. But don't do too much that you're just going to, like I said, just going to burn the wheels. You need to exercise smart, not just exercise more. But you also need to stop listening to what other voices in the industry are saying. Because being a 5'2" girl, being a 5'1", almost 5'2" girl, there are so many people out there spouting out that they're on 2,800 calories, 2,600 calories. Like, when I say 2,600 calories, I feel weird sometimes because, like, people are eating more than me. But half the girls out there, like most of the girls out there that are posting on social media looking like badass bitches, are the tall ones. They're the ones with the amazing tall physiques that can eat a lot, because the taller you are, there's more mass of you, there's more of you, there's more organ weight. You can eat more and you burn more every single time you exercise.
Yep.
Versus us small women, we don't, which is why it's even more important to actually focus on building muscle, because building that muscle and keeping it is metabolically expensive. The more that you work out, the more that you do any type of movement with that extra muscle mass, it's costly to maintain it. But I guess the biggest thing, I can't believe I didn't say this sooner because it's going to be my new slogan. There's Omar Usif, who says, eat your fucking vegetables. My one is now, eat your fucking protein. Yeah. People aren't eating enough protein. You are in no place to start a diet or to try to cut your calories until you've, one, increased your vegetable intake, two, reshuffled your damn macros to make protein the biggest component. Like, the myths out there of you shouldn't eat so much protein. Well, in my opinion, the more protein, the better, unless you have a kidney issue. And just because you're 5'2" doesn't mean that you only need 120, 150 grams of protein. Like, you can do 160, 180. The more protein that you have as part of your diet, the more thermogenic it is. The more it is going to favor body composition, because carbs if you're not active enough, if you don't have enough muscle mass, your body doesn't know what the hell to do with it. So it gets stored as stored energy. It's got nothing to do with the fact that it's like within a calorie deficit, because your body isn't using it for the things that it uses protein for. It's gonna actually say, do I need it right now? Do my muscles need it right now? Or can I put it into storage?
So a really good point there is, how do ladies make the transition to eating more protein? Because obviously one of the biggest struggles for women is, oh, I can't eat that much protein. So how do you get your clients to make the change to super high carb diet, I only eat noodles and rice, to, right, I'm going to start eating protein properly?
I've always been so dumbfounded by this question, because I'm someone who can easily eat 220 grams of protein in one sitting. Like, me, love it. Well, I guess a lot of people also don't like cooking. And I guess that also comes down to being okay with ham and deli meats, for example. A lot of people aren't okay with that. And it's because people think, oh, cancer. But no, if you don't get like salami and ultra processed meats, you're fine. Other things can, like, you don't just need to have fresh stuff like from the deli. You can get an actual roast chook, and that way you don't need to cook it. But you can look outside of meat sources of protein. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of women have sweet teeth, whatever. But you can create so much desserts, treats, snacks with a fat-free Greek yogurt. Add in some protein powder, buy some casein, there's high protein peanut butter powder. There's so many different options out there that you can just add simply to a fat-free Greek yogurt. Then there's fat-free cottage cheese. Again, on the lower end spectrum. My favorite protein, I can't believe I didn't mention this when I asked my girls what their favorite protein source is, but I should have mentioned egg whites, because it is so versatile. Make pancakes, make a mug cake, make a cake itself, make some muffins, make egg muffins in the morning, cook them, even cook them the night before. There are so many different things that you can do to meal prep. Like, for me, I only track my calories once a week, and then I log it into the app. I meal prep that day for 7 days in advance, and I have everything there. Whereas if you're not going to, like, you don't even have to meal prep the way that I do. Meal prep looks different for everybody. Why don't you just buy fresh veggies twice a week if that's what you want to do? I get both fresh and frozen. It's easy. Why don't you get your frozen, your whatever protein you want to get, bag it up into its serving sizes, throw some in the freezer. You can defrost them the night before, defrost them put them into the fridge 2 days before if you want, because they'll defrost by then. That's what I do, because I have 3 days worth in the freezer, and I bring them out when I have 4 days, like 1 container left in the fridge, and it's perfect. But there's like, if you have more fats allowed, mozzarella, it's the lowest fat alternative for cheeses, like a low fat mozzarella or just mozzarella in itself. There are other things outside of your typical animal meats that you can incorporate that are so easy. Like, why not include a few together? Tuna, egg whites, make them into some patties, make it into something.
So if you're vegan or vegetarian now, because obviously that's the other side of the coin, is vegans and the vegetarians saying, well, it's really tough to get protein. Go on, hit the listeners with this one. Go on.
Vegans and vegetarians, unless it's an ethical issue, it does my freaking head in, because that's all they want to identify with for no reason. I would say, if it's not ethical, eat fish. God damn it, eat fish. Like, make yourself pescatarian if it's not ethical, because it's fine. Like, anyway, if it is ethical, it's easy. Like, I would say invest in an air fryer, because you can shove tofu in there. It's amazing. You can make tofu scramble. If you want to, you can look up making seitan online. I wouldn't be bothered with that, because I hate cooking. I use a microwave for everything. I use the air fryer for everything. Same thing can happen. Like, my favorite plant source of protein is actually TVP. It's like a dehydrated soy. It looks like mincemeat. Okay. It looks like mincemeat, but it's not even processed. Like, I'm not a fan of fake meat. Sorry, you're never going to hear me mention fake meats. TVP is not a fake meat. It's what fake meats are made of, because it's the actual plant source. Yeah. It's just dehydrated soy. It tastes like crap by itself, But that's the thing. It's almost like cauliflower, like eggplant. It absorbs flavor. You can make it into a spaghetti bolognese. You can stuff a capsicum with it. You can create sanchoy bao with it. There is so much you can do with TBP. It's high in iron, high in fiber. You got all your boxes ticked. Outside of that, like I said, there's the tofu, there's the tempeh, but there's many other sources like your quinoa. Like, don't pick carb sources that don't have a high source of protein. What's the point? Like, pick your quinoas, pick the lentil version, the chickpea version of the pastas that are there. It is a more expensive route to go, but hey, you're the one who chose to go vegan and vegetarian, deal with it. If you want to actually do it right, then actually invest into it. If you're investing into veganism or vegetarianism for your health, then do it right. Like, do it in a way that's actually going to benefit your health and give you a higher quality life in the long run.
So I think there's something you said just in that little section there about if you want to, because I kind of feel sometimes that people half-ass nutrition, but expect result, but they're not willing to kind of really dive in and go, right, I'm really going to focus and really going to learn about it properly. They almost want everything handed to them. Is that?
I love the fact that you actually, I didn't even realize I said that, but it is something that's overlooked. See, it just comes naturally to me. Because it's like, if you want to actually make the changes, make them. If you don't, then you're going to have to be okay with mediocre results. You're going to have to be okay with digestion issues, gut issues, poor recovery, foggy mind, because protein is like, it's the god of all nutrients, of all everything. Protein isn't just for muscles. Protein is your hair, it's your nails, it's your skin. It's in charge of your metabolism, because like enzymes are protein.
Yep.
To actually have the metabolism going, you need to actually catalyze it with enzyme. That is protein. Your immune response, your immunity will be so bad if you do not give yourself the protein, because macrophages, like cytokines, they're the inflammatory little messengers.
Yep.
That is protein. Like, your whole body is formed on proteins. That is why I said the more the better. Like, yeah, okay, there's a diminishing point of returns, and maybe if you go past the ceiling, it doesn't do extra benefit. But to me, it always does, because if it's not protein, it's going to be a different macro.
Yeah.
As long as you're hitting your essentials, why not just fill the rest with protein if you can? The exception would be not your listeners, because it would be elite athletes. Like, I would probably even want more protein if I wasn't a runner at the same time as lifting, because I need to fuel both my running and my lifting, because now I'm lifting 5 days a week and I'm doing an endurance type of activity 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So I need high carbs. So my carbs are around 370, 380. But I would easily say, no, I'm going to give that to protein. I'm going to give that to fat. Well, I'm not a fan of high fats. My body hates it. That's another thing. Know what your body prefers when it comes to fats. Some people don't do well on high fat. I would argue that you're better off with more carbs than more fats, because fats are pretty much metabolically inert. There's like 1% thermic effect, whereas with carbs, it's about 15. With protein, it's about 30. And that's the beauty of it all. Like, you can be on the same calories with two people on the same calories. One person has way more protein, the other person has it in carbs and fats. The person on more protein is going to lean out more if they're both doing the exact same thing. They're going to look better than the other person, hands down. So it comes down to that actual person. And if you're not willing to put in the work to get there, if you're not willing to full ass it, then don't expect full ass results. And so many people think they're actually training hard when they're really not. Like, I had a girl who was training with me for about a year and a half before I actually put her through this phase. And I wish I did it sooner, but I'm happy that I did at this point, because it was a perfect timing. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to run this phase. I usually run my phases 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to run this phase for 10 weeks. But caveat, every single session from week 7 to week 10, I want you to increase the weight of the last set. And I ended up extending her period of that phase an extra 2 weeks on top of that for 12 weeks, because she found that ever since week 7 to week 12, she was able to do so much more than she was originally doing. Every single last set of every exercise was heavier. I'm like, do you see how much more you can push yourself? You're not pushing yourself enough. And then leading into the next phase, her body has never looked as good as it is now. She's eating more carbs than ever. Hey, ladies, you know, if you train hard and build actual real muscle from training hard and lifting heavy shit, you can actually afford more carbs. Like, train, actually film yourself and watch the reps. Like, do they look like they're even slowing down? Because they should look like they're slowing down towards the end.
That's a really big thing that I see, is that people, and ladies as well especially, will rush their rest periods because their weight sessions look like a hit session. Did you just roll your eyes there? I saw it.
I rolled my eyes and I did a little shoot my head symbol, because I had a girl like this and I decided to meet her where she was at, because it was the only way to get her consistent at the gym. So I gave her 2 sessions of Metcons, and the rest I just gave her stuff that had like little rest periods in between, because they weren't heavily compounded. And then after a while, she listened, even though I told her a million times, sometimes it takes another voice to say it. She listened to a podcast that reiterated what I said. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So once we finish this, can I actually take you back to what I wanted to do? She's like, I'll do whatever you say. I get it now. I'm like, thank you. And now I'm able to actually balance it both. It's giving her that cardio component because that's what she enjoys, but putting that as the finisher, giving, like saying, okay, so for the last superset of your D series, sometimes it's the C series and the D series, but for the D series, no rest, just get through it, just go and smash it out. I don't care what the weight is, as long as you get it done in the record time. For the rest, you need to actually rest. You need to focus on getting stronger in those movements. Focus on your form, because if you're not going to give yourself adequate rest, your body isn't able to exert that same force the next set. And I guess this also comes into people just making up their shit as they go. I'm speaking as though everyone has the privilege of having a coach to write a proper program, but there's so many people out there writing their own programming, changing their things here and there, and they're doing junk volume. They're spending 2 hours in the gym. If it's not someone believing that if you spend more than 45 minutes in the gym, you're going to freaking break down muscle. It's someone saying you need to spend more than 2 hours in the gym just smashing yourself. Like, freaking go to the middle. Have a smart program. If you're going to do shit like all these volume sets, volume reps, probably the first 3 exercises are going to be like 100% quality, giving your best effort for that. After that, you're not going to be able to give the same force, same effort. And if anything, you're just actually eating away your fatigue and recovery and eating into any other session's capability of stimulating that muscle again. And this is probably the biggest lesson I learned when I started out, and that's stimulate, don't annihilate, because that was something I used to do all the time. I used to want to crawl out. I used to go into as many machines as I could until I literally felt fucked. And I didn't start to see progress until I saw a lot of progress straight away. But I didn't get, as soon as I hit a certain point, I was plateaued until I learned that lesson. And no matter how many times I got told, I had a mentor that was actually helping me out because he saw me grow. Like, wasn't a coach. I didn't pay for it. He was just teaching me, telling me over and over again, stop annihilating yourself. I'm not paying for this advice. Yet he's giving it to me. He's trying to help me. Yet I'm not listening. But I finally listened. And I guess this also goes with proper form, because it was also this person that told me that my squats were shit. I'm squatting 100 kilos for 6, mate. You need to do stripper squats. But I'm getting low. No. I wasn't. I was squatting shit. But I could have easily taken an ego blow, because he made me do 20 reps after every leg session, just the bar. And then 2 sets of 20 reps, just the bar. And then eventually he actually put them into my program again, because he was just helping me out. He's like, okay, so now build up, see what you got. Miss 100 kilo squatter was only doing like 40 kilos. And after my first set of 40 kilos, I felt fucked. So I had to drop it back down to the bar. Like, people think that you can't grow with less weight, but you can grow with less weight if you're still taking it to that point of failure, still taking it to that point of, wow, I cannot do another rep. But you cannot grow if you're doing heavy ass weight with shit form.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, maybe I would have grown like a quarter of my quads. I don't really know. I'm just using my imagination.
Yep.
Maybe I would have grown like a good chunk of a quarter of my quads. But if I actually hit that for all of that, I would have grown my whole quad, not a quarter of my quad. That's just for imagery purposes, but you know.
Is that because of Instagram culture that we're all trying to lift super heavy weight and trying to make everything look Instagram ready nowadays? Or what?
See, in a way, no. But
Okay.
I know people who do that.
Mhm.
And I was coaching a guy once who would always go off program just to test his 1 RM, and it gave me the shits. But for me, I can relate this to another client as well. It's where I'm just chasing the weight. I don't care about anything else. It's just this actually brings us back to the whole side of the conversation, the mental masturbation of always chasing numbers, always chasing progress without looking at other factors. Like, if I don't improve this session, I'm a failure. I'm not good enough if I don't get heavier on this. I want to just say that I did 100 kilos because it's awesome. I just want to hit 100 kilos. Oh, I just want to keep progressing, because if I don't progress this session, what's this session worth anyway? Yeah. It comes all these self-talk in our head of, okay, if we're not progressing, we're not getting anywhere. And I actually used to have clients like this, and everyone can probably relate. Like, I remember one of my girls, she was always chasing progress in some form. Like, my weights aren't increasing. I'm not able to improve anything anywhere. I'm not able to add reps everywhere. Sometimes that's not the fucking purpose. Sorry, I'm Australian, listeners. We swear a lot here. But that's not the like it's Australia. We say arvo when people don't know what arvo is. It's like afternoon. We're saying afternoon.
Yeah. Hey, look, yeah. I watch Married at First Sight, right? I'm an expert. I'm cool.
I'm gonna guess that they swear a lot in that. I actually don't own a TV, and I don't know I don't own TV. I don't know a single TV show. I don't even know what's happening with COVID around the world. All I know is that we're in lockdown for the next 5 weeks. Anyway, so I used to have a client that used to do that a lot. And I see it a lot with a lot of people. Like, if you're not progressing, something needs to change. The program needs to change. They're always looking for some sort of entertainment or some sort of progress. But there's progress outside of that. Like, there are some sessions where it's literally written impossible for me to progress my weights because of the type of training it is. There's tempo. Ever since I included tempo in my clients' training, in my own training, I have never seen better results. Mm-hmm. Because tempo not only builds a muscle, like, it builds the density of the muscle, like it develops power. It does so much more, and you don't have to load something with so much weight and exert yourself to the point of, like, it just eats into your recovery. Yeah. You can do it with lighter weight, still get the same results, sometimes even better. And, like, play with more implements than just trying to chase a weight for the sake of chasing a weight, because it's going to eat at you. And then if you don't make that weight, which was always my brain when I was in powerlifting, it just plays in your mind for the whole session. Instead of being like, okay, let's see how I go. Oh, I can't lift this time. I'm just going to really focus on tempo, really focus on feeling. And it's so freeing, because a lot of the time people don't actually feel their muscles working. And also, feeling your muscles working, it doesn't mean anything. Like, sometimes it's just sensation. So you need to actually mix intent with sensation, because it's not just about intent. If you can't, like, it's not just about, like, having intent when you do something, because you can focus on moving a weight from point A to point B. That's the intent. But are you actually focusing on the movement and doing it right, getting the sensation of the movement? And then there's a sensation without the intent, where I just want to feel the burn. I just want to feel this. I want to feel that. But if you're not actually lifting with the intent of, I want to improve myself, or I want to get stronger, then you're just doing junk volume again for the sake of feeling a burn. So you need to actually marry them together.
And that's a really good point. There is often that thing of, oh, I want to feel the burn. I don't feel like this exercise is doing anything for me, and then they get off the machine or whatever, and they're like, but I don't think this exercise is doing anything for me, and I'm like,
I want to actually take this two ways. One is one of my coaches for powerlifting told me something that sticks with me. Sometimes it's not about training the muscle, it's about training the movement. And honestly, sometimes, most of the time, people don't feel shit in the deadlift. That's a good thing. You don't want to feel your back. You don't want to feel all that shit. When I deadlift, sometimes all I can feel is my ass and my hamstrings because I'm doing it right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't feel anything at all. And that's okay because you're training a movement, not a muscle. But when it comes to, but you're saying you didn't feel it. Like the same thing goes to the scale. Like you're naming all these different areas where you're progressing, you're fitting good in the clothes, you have more energy, and then you step on the scale and you let it affect you. Okay, you just mentioned all these areas of progress. You're stepping on the scale, saying you either didn't lose weight or you put on weight, and you're telling me you did not progress. How about the fact that you just changed your mindset? How about the fact that maybe, just maybe, we changed your habits so well that you're actually able to put on quality muscle now? So if anything, you won't see the scale go down for a while. Like there is so much more to it than just that. And this is why I'm so passionate about people just friggin' loving themselves, because you don't let all these factors just impact you so much and you become more resilient at life. Like the skills you develop in the gym in dealing with your own self-image issues, with all of this other stuff, it goes into everything else. Like your kids benefit, your family benefits, your work colleagues benefit because you're more in control of yourself. You're not going to be a moody bitch at work. You're going to have more patience with others because you have more patience with yourself. Yeah. And that's when you see people that are cranky prudes barging around, judging other people because they're not happy with themselves.
Love it. Love it. So, you know what? I think we can talk all day. We can talk today. So I think I'm going to ask you nicely to have a part 2 at some point, which would be awesome. But I've got a couple of questions though I want to leave the listeners. If there were 4 things that you would tell any woman about changing their body, changing their mindset, what were those top 4 things?
Number 1, who are you? Like, who actually are you? Because we get too lost into the busy world of everything else. We actually sometimes lose who we are. And we start looking at all these different social media things that we lose. Who are we? Like, what are our values? What is it that you are truly wanting and why? Because people don't just want to lose weight. They want to lose weight to feel a certain way. They don't just want to smash themselves and inflict pain on themselves with a leg extension. They're doing it because they want badass legs. Like, it's the same thing. So who are you and what is it that you truly desire? Desire, not want, desire. Number 2 is what makes you happy. Because a lot of people are forgetting the magic of hobbies. And it wasn't until I got into running that I started to slow my mind, probably about 4 months into running, because my mind is always running. But when I'm running, I find it hard to tune into my podcasts. And now I'm finally starting to listen to them until the pain gets excruciating, then I can't. But find something that you can center yourself on. A hobby. Like, I love coloring in. If it's not like lying down, napping, playing with my dogs, and if it's not actually just going for a walk and breathing in fresh air, I like coloring in. So find something that makes you happy. Dogs, going to the park, going for a walk in nature. Everybody needs some sort of nature in their life.
Oh, love it.
I want to actually add something to that point too, and that's actually go out and get sunlight in the morning, because it is so much easier to find fulfillment when you start your day with sunshine. Because I know as a fact that I don't like living in a closed box, and sunlight makes everybody happy.
And it helps you sleep.
It does. It regulates your circadian rhythm. And sleep, number 3. I'm just going to say that. Sleep, number 3. If you have shit sleep, you're going to be a sourpuss. Have shit sleep, you're not going to be able to control your food. Have shit sleep, you're going to have a shit session. That's going to impact your food. That's going to impact your mood. Have shit sleep, your kids are going to hate you because you're going to be scowling at them. So really prioritize your sleep. Have a night routine, have a morning routine. Your morning starts right before you go to sleep. Because if you have a shit sleep, you have a shit morning.
Yeah.
And number 4, I would say have boundaries. And if you don't know what your boundaries are, no one else will either. Have boundaries, respect them, and don't have notifications on your phone. I only have Instagram on my phone because Instagram is something I actually thoroughly love. And I'm a social creature. I work from home. I'm an online coach. I love talking to people. And Instagram is more about pictures. It's more about sharing videos, sharing stories. It's not like a chat platform. Facebook off, everything off. Do not disturb mode is on 8:30 at night. It's on after my morning routine, which is me having time to myself training, which means it comes on at 11 a.m. So be selfish to be able to be there for others. And it's not about, I hate it when people say, fill your cup first and then you can give to everyone else. Or fill your cup first and then you can pour to everyone else, because that's stupid. Why would you want to pour yourself out? Fill your cup and keep it so full, continuously full, that it just overflows. That's the biggest message, because the more that you have that overflowing abundance, the more that you will actually feel fulfilled in yourself, and you'll actually start to chase the right things and not be guided by emotion, but actual intent.
I love that. I love that. This on all of some of those things at the end there, that's like a whole nother podcast, a whole nother episode. All right, my last question for you. What's your favorite leg exercise?
RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. I
Whoa.
freaking love Romanian deadlifts. I love them.
Love the hamstring burn.
I do, everything hamstrings. If it wasn't that, I would say good mornings, but I prefer RDLs just because I'm better at them. Love them. Nice. So just to finish up, where can people find you on the World Wide Web? Where can they stalk you and see your awesome content? So on Instagram, I'm Ruby Cherie, CHERIE .coaching specialist. And on Facebook, I'm just Ruby Cherie. You can follow my personal one, or you can follow my business one, just Ruby Cherie Transformation Specialist. I'm more of an Instagram and Facebook personal account girl, but I also have a little side podcast called 100% Real with Ruby.
Ooh,
yeah, it's actually mainly on mindset, and I'm trying to get a lot more mindset talk in it. A little bit of women's physiology, but I think there's a lot lacking in the actual mindset of things. It just usually goes into training and food, but the mindset, like I mentioned, is behind it all, and that's what leads into all of the rest. So yeah, Ruby Cherie.
Awesome. I'm going to share that podcast with my clients after this. I'm excited. I'm going to have a listen myself.
You'll love it. I have this guy on as regularly as I can get him on, because we really dig into identity and values and how it's pivotal in everything that we do.
But when you touched on values, see, this is what happens when you get into these deep conversations. You start going off on tangents, but I think one of the things I did with my clients a while back was, what are your values? And we all sat in a group and we talked about values, and it really made them actually really think about what they really want. So I think that's cool.
That's going to be a good lead on to the next episode when we do it, because the thing is, if you value social connection and everything you're trying to do is against social connection, like you're trying to cut carbs out, you're trying to do intermittent fasting, and that's against social connection, how the freaking hell do you expect to maintain that?
So many applause, so many gems in this podcast today. Thank you, Ruby, for coming on. Ladies, if you're listening, leave a review, share this with the world, and I'm going to get Ruby back on to really attack the mindset, because it's something that's close to my heart. I love talking about the physical stuff, but like you said, you can't have the physical without the mental. So Ruby, you've been awesome. I'm looking forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Talk soon.